In Fox 5 Health News tonight, for years we've been told to go easy on the butter, cheese, and the red meat and other saturated fats in our diet. Well, there's news. Now, one cardiologist is saying that these foods may not be so bad for us at all.
That sounds great. Yeah. Joining us now is Dr. Keri Peterson from Lenox Hill Hospital. Thanks so much for being here. So, Dr. Peterson, this research is busting a fat myth, huh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this one cardiologist out of Britain analyzed the research, and he is trying to bust the myth that saturated fat is linked to heart disease. He says the data does not show a link to heart disease, that in fact saturated fats are good for us.
They're good for us.
That they're good for us.
That's so strange to hear, isn't it?
He's basing it on the fact that a high-fat, low-carb diet is one of the best ways to lose weight. So maybe there's something to be said for that.
So the real culprit is?
He says the real culprit is sugar.
Sugar.
That it's sugar that is accountable for the rising rates of obesity, that it is sugar in our diet that is causing rising rates of diabetes and heart disease. Because this low-fat diet that has been touted since the 70s has created a lot of processed foods. They may be low in fat, but they're high in sugar. And he says that's what the problem is.
And a lot of people don't know that, say, breads break down into sugar, right? I mean, there's so many things that you may not think of. You think of candy as sugar, but maybe what's the take-home for people watching?
Well, the take-home, there's two things. First, as you mentioned, Sharon, you should stick to whole grains and non-simple, complex carbohydrates, not simple carbohydrates. But really the take-home message is still let's follow the USDA guidelines. This is certainly food for thought, but I would not change your diet and go out and buy all the bacon that you want. You want to stick to about 50% fruits and vegetables and about 30% whole grains, 20% protein, lean protein.
I was about to say that a lot of this information is kind of interesting, but it's also confusing for most people who are saying, well, what am I supposed to do?
Let's just still stick to the new guidelines as of 2011, the MyPlate regulations.
Okay.
All right. Well, in other health news, new guidelines will affect pregnant women and when they give birth. Experts are now saying more time in the womb could mean a healthier baby. Is that right, Dr. Peterson?
This is really unbelievable. There is now a new classification system by the American College of OBGYN. As it stands, prior to this, a pregnant woman at 37 to 41 weeks was considered full term. Now that has been divided up so that 37 and 38 weeks are preterm, 39 and 40 are full term, and 41 is considered late term. The reason for this is that while a child is considered developed at 37 weeks, because that's when their lungs develop, it has been found that between 37 and 38 weeks, when a baby is delivered, there are higher rates of complications, greater ICU admissions, more need for mechanical ventilation. So by teasing out this 37, 38 week group, we're trying to draw to light that it's not ideal to deliver at this time.
So the baby could be healthier, you're saying, by developing, the fetus would develop
till 39 weeks is really and the impact that these guidelines may now have is that a lot of women are trying to elect to have their pregnancy induced or have elective C-sections because November 10th works for them.
Right.
Now an OBGYN may say, you know what? If you're only at 37 weeks on November 10th, we're going to push this to a week later.
Yep, that makes sense. All right, Dr. Peterson, thank you so much.
Thank you.